morning to you and welcome to our live crafting today. It's a Wednesday morning, the 8th of March, and a very different weather this morning. We have snow and snow forecast all day, so we'll see how long that stays and whether it settles and does anything detrimental. Hopefully it won't slow anybody down too much. So my name is Jenny McCormack. Thank you for joining me. If this is the first time, then welcome to you. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator and I'm based in the market town of Brackley, which is in Northamptonshire in the UK. The product we're using this week, my stamp set of the week, is from the Rain or Shine collection from our January to April catalogue, and there's a whole series of products that go with this, but this week we're just using the stamp set, the papers and the embossing folder. And this is the stamp set. So as you can see, it's got three main characters. We've got a tortoise, a fox and a rabbit, and we have obviously the clouds and the rain. We have some flowers, a folded umbrella, a puddle and two sentiments. If you joined us yesterday, good morning to you, Carol, you will have seen me create this card here. So a very simple card. I just literally stamped that cute rabbit on a die cut stitched circle. I used the Raindrops embossing folder on my background of balmy blue. I just lay some of that ribbon around the centre of the background panel and then stamped Oh Happy Day and punched it out with our separate cloud punch. And then on the inside I stamped those cute little flowers in a line, and then on the envelope I stamped and coloured those in on the back of the envelope, and then after we'd finished I went on and stamped them on the front just because they're so cute. And I've coloured these in with our Blends alcohol markers, but you could colour them in with your colouring medium of choice, so whether that be watercolour pencils, you could use inks and water for water painting. Stampin' Up markers, because they're quite small, you could get away with those, or you could use those with an aqua painter. So lots of different options for colouring in. So there's that cute rabbit with his bright yellow raincoat. Morning, Jeanette, thanks for joining us, hope you're well. So today I thought I would use some of the papers. The papers are fabulous, and they have the characters on the papers as I showed you yesterday. They have some different ones here. We have dogs as well and pigs. And what I'm going to do is use this panel here. So these papers come as 12 by 12, but I've cut these down. These are from the paper share, and I'm actually going to use a sample in the catalogue for our card today, which is this one here. So it's a Slimline card using this paper as the main backing, and then we've got a stamped tortoise which we're going to cut out, and then they've got a little element of detail here with some ribbon which I'm going to try and see if I can recreate that. So I have prepared a, so I've got our Slimline envelopes. So we sell these and they come in a pack of 3 different colours. And I've cut my card to match. So this is from an A4 sheet, and this is 21 centimetres across. That's the standard width. And then I've cut this at 18 and scored it at 9. So my card size will be 9 by 21, and that fits really nicely in our envelope. and remind me to decorate my envelope before we finish. So I'm just going to fold this over and score it, she says. Oh, there they are. I knew I had my bone folders there somewhere. Okay, so that's going to be our card base, and then I'm going to cut this panel of paper to fit. So I want some of the sky and these clouds, but I want some of these flowers as well. So all I'm going to do is just have a look and see where I'm going to cut this. So in their panel they had a little bit more green, like so, and also they covered the whole of the front of the card. So I may do that, or I may leave a border, I'm not quite sure. I think it goes something like that. And then we've got space for our stamped tortoise, which I'm going to cut out to pop onto there. And I chose the tortoise, obviously it's the one in the sample, and it's holding the flower as opposed to standing in a puddle, excuse me, or with the umbrella. But you could easily use this one and just cut around here so that he was just sort of dancing in the flowers. So that would be an option. So I'm just going to mark this, and I think, shall I have a border? I don't know, I think it'll be too small if I make a border, so I will do it full size. And I'm just working out how much sky I want. Don't want it all sky really. I think something like that. So I'm just going to mark that just slightly either side and then cut that to size. So we'll mark there and there. And I know to cut it inside of those marks, so let's get the trimmer out. So I think I'm going to do it full size. So let's cut that one. And then I know this is going to be 21, but it's always worth double checking. So I'm just going to turn this over. And I make it a millimetre smaller. Just, excuse me, just so it doesn't go over the top. And also, with all of our cards, there is, I can't think of what the word is. But it basically means it's, you know, within a limit of plus or minus half a millimetre or whatever. I'll think of the word later. You'll probably know what it is. So yeah, so just cut it slightly shorter, and then this is 9, and again just measure it to be on the safe side. It's a shame it's not quite big enough for 2, but never mind. So just a trifle under 2. There we go. I could actually add a little panel on the inside, just a narrow one, just so I'm not wasting that element there. Like so. I'm actually going to pop that on the inside, and I've usefully got a few clouds here, so I could potentially cut round those and layer those up as well if I wanted to. Okay, so that's going to be my base card. I've finished with the cutting for the moment. Let's do some stamping and colouring in and cutting out this cute tortoise. And I know exactly who this card is going to, because I have two friends that have tortoises. Hi Kerry. I hope you're well. Okay, let's ink that up. Now I haven't inked this one up before, so that's fine, that will work even without having been inked before now. Usually I do like to stamp them off first so that they're ready. So I'm just going to wait for that to make sure it's completely dry. So while I do that, I'm just going to pop these layers together. So I hope everybody is well. Jeanette, I think you have some snow as well, don't you? I think you had it before we did this morning. Okay, I'm going to take my glasses off, folks. So, just taking my time to position that like so. There we go, so there's our front of the card. Very cute. And I'll stick this one on the inside. Now if I had a full sheet, then I would only do this if I had any left over. But because I've only got a little panel left, I might as well use this up. Now, did I cut that? Yes, I did. And I'm just going to have this very slightly in from the edge. Like so. There we go. Quite a while since I've done a slimline card. Okay, so here's our tortoise. And they've used, so you could use greens, you could use browns, you could use yellows. Really up to you. Let's see what I've got to hand. Let's use some greens. So I'm guessing this is pear, it's probably pear pizzazz. Sadly, we don't have a pear pizzazz pen. Maybe we will when we get the new catalogue. So I'm going to do a slightly yellowy green body, I think. So I've got light daffodil delight. There we go. So I'm just going to go over in yellow first to lay down a foundation. Like so. And then I've got light granny apple green that I'm going to go over the top with. Probably completely the wrong colour. I think they get darker as they get older, she says, sounding like she knows something about them, but she doesn't. Okay. So just a little bit of shading where this shell is. So, and I'm just blending that over a little bit. So this is our stamp set of the week. So if you purchase this from me, you will get the components for the card. Might mean I need to order another of this, more of this paper. I'll have a look. I might have some more tucked away somewhere. Okay, so I've got my got this tummy, and let's just do this light one here. Let me bring it up so you can see that a little bit better. Like so. And let's do the same technique. So using the light daffodil delight just as an undercoat. Like so. Now if you're not a fan of colouring in, you could buy the papers and just literally, oh, I've got some colouring tips here, look, literally cut round that instead if you wanted to. So I'll be using this at Coffee and Card the Friday, Monday and Tuesday, so I'll give people the option to either stamp their own character and colour it in, or they can cut out a character from here. So I should have used that as my sample. I wasn't that actually that far off. Mine looks a bit of a weaker colour. I think I've got an anemic tortoise here. Let's go in with dark head. Like so. Okay, and legs will do that as well. Okay, and I think I'm going to give him a sort of green and brown shell. So I'm just going to go around there in green. So this is dark old olive, but really you could use any greens that you've got, or browns. There we go, very cute. And let's see, I've got dark crumb cake, which I think will work nicely. Otherwise, he's not really going to stand out from my flowers and my greenery behind, does he? So, dark crumb cake on the left, and then I'm going to add a little bit of light crumb cake. But you could just really do, oh that's dark, really do your own thing. And then with the eye, you could leave it as it is. You could add a googly eye if you have any. You could add a little bit of blue, really whatever. Okay, and let's add a yellow flower. Like so. And these have got, just using this as a sample, this got like a Cajun craze centre. So let's do that. There we go. Okay, so there is our tortoise. He's going to go onto there, or she's going to go onto there. Looks like a male tortoise, doesn't it? Well, it does to me anyway. Okay, so let us find our scissors and cut that out. Let me just see, put my glasses on and see who else has joined us. Hi Fran, good morning to you. Okay, so I'm just going to cut around this. Now I have to say, I did think I don't need the dies. The more I'm using this, the more I'm thinking I wished I'd bought the dies. So I'm ordering today. I might need to add this along with another pack of paper. So just going to cut around these here. And this pair of snips definitely needs cleaning. You could also, if you wanted to, cut this out in a circle, rather like this. It wouldn't be quite the same effect, but I think you could certainly do that if you really don't like fussy cutting. Am I right in small doses? There we go. There he is. I'm going to work out what I'm going to do with this bit around between him and the flower. There we go. Right. And I'm just going to snip in these edges. So. You couldn't get more of a contrast here. Snow outside, and here's me with a field full of spring or summer flowers. There we go. Sorry, this is a bit monotonous for you, isn't it? Right. Most of that is done. Try not to cut that flower at the last minute by mistake. Very last bit. Being careful not to cut it off the hand after all of that effort. There we go. Okay, I'm fairly happy with that. Okay, there are heels. And what I'm actually going to do is take my dark crumb cake pen and just go around the very edge of it, so that I lose any white bits. Now what I could have done is this, before I cut it out, put an edge around it. and then cut out. And it just means if you've got any little white bits showing, they'll sort of disappear. So if you can see, so you can run it around the edge here as well, like so. I'm not sure that from the video point of view you can see that that makes much difference. But I can in real life, close up. That's what I'm trying to say. I haven't had enough coffee yet today. There we go. You will do. Cute. Right. So here's our little tortoise. A little bit swamped actually, but never mind. Now we do have some clouds on here that I could do the same treatment with. So these are actually embossed. So I'm just going to cut round these and have a look and see whether to add them or not. They have them in the sample in the catalogue, but I suspect they've obviously cut them out with the dies, but I think that works because it's got a blue edge anyway. So I'm not going to, I could use this one, but that's not really worth it. Just use this one up here. So for those of you that are local, I have my buy one get one free sale on a weekend, so looking forward to that. Got a lot of sorting out to do. And then I will be listing some of my retired items online after that event. So if you're local to me in Brackley, you'd be most welcome to come. It's on Sunday, 10:30 till 12. If you're a VIP member, so you've come to Coffee and Card or you've ordered from me in the last 6 months, then you can come from 10 AM onwards. Okay, so I've got my tortoise, I've got my clouds which are going to go in there, and now they did something different with the ribbon. So I'm going to try it and see. They folded the ribbon, and I know you can't really see this in detail. They folded the ribbon and then tied a little bow on one end. And I'm just going to try it and see. I'm not 100% convinced. Let's get my ribbon scissors. So what they've done is they've folded it like that and then tied a little loop of baker's twine around the end. Now they use crumb cake. I had something out ready. Oops. And now I can't see it. Use a little bit of the in colour. With the Tahitian tie, that will work. Let's give it a go. Right, so they've done that. Laid the ribbon over the baker's twine and then tied this in a knot. Like so. do a double knot so it doesn't go anywhere. So I've sort of laid it here like that. Okay, do a little bow, make it look a bit more interesting. I'll just shorten that. Okay, so a little bit different, isn't it? Quite like it. So they've got that, and they've actually also laid a small piece of this paper. I wonder if I can get away with that. Probably can. Let's just try it and see. Just going to do that at 1.5 centimetres, and I'll do it at an angle because that's all I've got left on that piece. So let me have a look, see if I can see. So this is what I'm recreating, this bit here. So they've got the ribbon, and then they've got the panel, and then they've got the tortoise. So I'm going to cut this off afterwards when I've got it to the length that I want. Then comes more snow. Just going to move this up a little bit. Like so. Okay, so we've got that. And then a panel like so, and then the tortoise. There we go, and I've got my clouds to go on. So let me bring it up because I realise it's quite a long way from you to see that. So there we go. Obviously it's not in position, so I'm just going to try it without that. What do we think? Quite nice with that. Or no, that definitely looks odd. Or I could just have our tortoise here. Also make it go that way. What do we think? With the ribbon or without the ribbon? I'm undecided. Thank you, Jeanette. This feels a little bit fussy. Maybe if I take the bow out. Just a little bit too much going on for my liking. Excuse me. Without, says Carol. Yeah, I think I'd agree. It's sweet, but it's just a bit too busy. It's quite a nice way to do it. I might try and incorporate that with something else. So I'm thinking almost just my tortoise like that. Not even. Yeah. Just sitting in there. Okay. Right, so I've got my clouds, I've got my tortoise. He's going to go up on some dimensionals, and I'm actually going to leave the sentiment off for the minute because I haven't decided what sentiment I'm going to pop on there. They used Oh Happy Day, which I used on this one here. So let's just pop this together. So I've got some mini dimensionals here. I could use larger ones, but these are just to hand. So these are for my clouds. Three. Let's put that one on first, because that one's cut at the edge. So let's have that one there, like that. This one up here. There we go. And we're done. So sorry it's gone on a little bit longer. Two of those and one tiny one. Just going to trim that slightly so it fits on the flower without sticking out. There we go. So there's our inside. And then on the envelope I can either add a strip of the paper, or I could stamp those cute little flowers. Right, just make sure I've got all of those off. There we go. And I'm just going to pop in there. Cute. So I could put a sentiment down here, I could put a sentiment up here, or also in here. So a simplified version of the card on the on page 50 of our catalogue. So this is the envelope that fits them, the slimline envelopes. So I could stick that on there, or I'm going to stamp those cute little flowers again, just because I like them. And I will colour them in off screen. You don't need to hang around and watch me do that. Let's just pop a piece of grid paper underneath. So coming off the bottom here. Oh, you could do it all the way along here actually, couldn't you? Why not? And let's flip this one over, pop it in there. And that's it. There's our envelope, which I will colour in shortly in yellow with the Cajun craze in the middle. So there's our envelope, there's our card, cute little tortoise waiting for a sentiment, and there's the inside panel as well. So there we go. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I will be back again tomorrow, Thursday, goodness me, for another card. And I think I'll do a fancy fold of some kind, featuring the papers and the characters. So I hope you're able to join me. This was yesterday's one. this is today's. Thank you so much, everyone. Do take care. Enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you to those of you that have joined us live, and thank you all to those that watch us on replay and catch up, whether that's here on Facebook or on YouTube. If you like what you see or you want to see more, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell, and you should get notifications of when I go live. Doesn't always work. Right, I'm off to make a coffee, finishing my colouring and cracking on with the rest of my day. Thank you so much, everyone. Do take care. Bye for now.